We're going to finish up our session on the metric, and we're going to get into the final calculation here in this session. So basically, what you need to buy plus what you want in terms of your number is going to be your number. So if you have factored in everything that you want in terms of your living expenses and your baseline, and then you're going to factor in all of the things you need to buy for your business, well, then that's going to be the number that you're going to focus on an everyday basis, even on an hourly basis. So now, once we get that number, whatever that number is, and it should be an annual number at this point. Obviously, what we're doing is we're starting with $100,000 in a calendar year. And so what we want to do is we want to back into a daily number. And so in order to back into that daily number, what we want to do is we want to start thinking about, well, what does the average price product like yours sell? And this may not be something that you know right now, but you probably have some idea based on what the marketplace is doing right now. So based on what you know, what is the average price product for a product like the one that you want to sell? Take a look at some funnels. You're going to need to do some recon. You want to look at what you want to produce, and you want to come to some agreement about, well, what does the average price product for a product like yours look for? Once you know that, you want to calculate, well, how many front end sales is it going to take for you to get to your number in a calendar year? So you should have some idea based on that number, how many times you're going to have to make sales, whether it's your existing customers, whether it is your new customers or existing customers, how many front end sales is it going to take for you to get to whatever that number is? How many is it going to take for you to get a month? How many is it going to take for you to get per day? So you should have an idea of based on the average price that your product is and how many front end sales you're going to need. You should have an idea based on those two, how many sales you're going to need in a year, in a month, in a day. And once you quantify this, it's going to be different than saying, well, I want to make $10,000 a year or $500 extra monthly. You've got to then start figuring out, okay, what kind of conversion rates do these products do? And you can determine that. So if you look at something like JVZoo or Warrior Plus or ClickBank, and you figure out that typically these products convert at a 10% rate, then you have some idea of what it's going to take in terms of getting traffic. You might have to determine how many affiliates does a person like this have, because you might need to have that number of affiliates and more. These are all things that you can use in terms of determining different metrics as to whether or not you are hitting your number and whether or not you're going to get close to what you need in order to have in your business. Based on all these numbers, how many visitors you're going to have, how many people are going to have to come to your website based on the conversions. If you know that a product like yours generally converts at 8 to 10% on the front end, you should then be able to determine how many different kinds of buyers you're going to need at every time that you release a product. You should have some idea of what that is going to be. All of these are questions that you can program into a custom GPT or you can program into a Gemini Gem. And what you're trying to do is to determine at every point in time, am I ahead of where I need to be? Am I behind where I need to be? Does it mean that I need to do more in terms of getting leads? Getting these metrics into your business will help you to determine at any point in time whether you are ahead or behind. At the end of everything, you should have an idea of how many dollars per day you want to generate. How many dollars per week do you want to generate? How many dollars per month? How many dollars in a calendar year, which would be ultimately be the number which equals what you need to buy plus what you want, plus the baseline. Once you know that number, you should be able to back into how many affiliates you're going to need based on similar products that are already being sold. You should then be able to back into how many visitors you're going to have based on of similar products like the one you're going to sell. Understanding these means that you know at all times whether you are ahead, whether you are behind, whether you are on pace, and where you're going to have to pick up the pace in order to build a brand that doesn't depend on platforms, that doesn't depend on other people, that depends on the business that you generate. And so this is going to give you the right kind of goal to shoot for, and it will help you to start asking the right questions and looking for the right answers for the business that you ultimately want to build as an information marketer.